is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining me right here on Off the Script. This is episode 305, part number 2 for your Saturday, December 21st, 2019. And the WWE wants to make a killing in the free agent pool right now in the world of professional wrestling. As always, they have their eyes on yet another highly sought-after free agent, and his name is Killer Kross. I wonder why. Have you ever thought, really, honestly, have you ever thought as to why WWE needs someone like Killer Kross? They got 3 or 4 different guys that are very similar to Killer Kross. Anyway, what do I know? I'm just some geek who lives in a 1-bedroom apartment, lives in his mother's basement, who talks about pro wrestling on YouTube. What do I know? We'll talk about that. That's in the news. That's one of the major stories here today on the podcast. Killer Kross being looked at not only by WWE, but by everybody in the world of professional wrestling, including the place that I work for, Mr. P's own House of Glory. Oh, yeah, we're looking at him. We're looking at him, bro. Don't worry. And believe me, we got the resources to bring him on in. Also, we got news as it pertains to Edge. We got a follow-up on Mr. Adam Copeland, Edge. Now, we talked about this on yesterday's show, and the rumors of him going to Pittsburgh and meeting with WWE head physicians. Why is he there? Even before that, he left unceremoniously his podcast with Christian, then flew to Pittsburgh to meet with WWE head physicians. Everybody was wondering, is he coming back at the end of the year? Is he going to be at Crown Jewel? Is he making a WWE return in 2020? Is he going to be at WrestleMania? Then they died. Now, all of a sudden, those news and rumors are really heating up again. And as of yesterday, the rumor is that Edge will be in the 2020 Royal Rumble. So obviously, Edge would come out the very next day and deny all the rumors about his imminent WWE return. What he said and what I think about the situation in a follow-up right here on the podcast. Speaking of the 2020 Royal Rumble, Cain Velasquez, not that I give a shit, is set to appear in the Royal Rumble. Oh, joy! His WWE appearance on SmackDown meant nothing, so now let him get in the Royal Rumble and have that appearance mean nothing. Please, if I see Cain Velasquez win the Royal Rumble or come close to winning the Royal Rumble, I might actually end up quit watching. I don't think I can handle that. Royal Rumble is not made for Cain Velasquez or people like Cain Velasquez to win it. Please, I hope to God that WWE books for the first time in I don't even know how long, books a good Royal Rumble. Cain Velasquez set to appear in the Royal Rumble. The Revival might be undergoing a gimmick change. And this might be the very last piece to the puzzle on their WWE exit. If there's anything that the Revival are looking at as a possibility of resigning, out the window. The fucking Revival are getting a gimmick change, folks. I don't know what else to tell you. That speaks volumes right there about how WWE views not only tag team wrestling, but the Revival. We'll go over that as well. WWE adding more time on top of Jeff Hardy's contract. This was academic. We all knew this was happening. But now, people are speaking up against WWE, and Bully Ray went on his podcast and said that he's not happy with WWE and the treatment that they're bringing upon Matt Hardy because he feels that WWE is punishing Matt Hardy for Jeff Hardy's troubles. So we'll go over that as well. Nice little sticky situation there. We got 2 more stars possibly joining the Women's Royal Rumble as part of a return of sorts. We got 2 names possibly joining the Royal Rumble, coming back from injury. We'll go over that. The New Day and the Street Profits sign new multi-year deals with WWE. 205 Live potentially canceled. And we are about to get a new United States Championship. Yes, folks, we are getting a new title belt for the United States title. Finally. That belt looks so outdated, it's so disgusting. But I guess everybody likes the lineage and the classic look of it. It could use a makeover, slightly. I wouldn't change the whole belt, and they got to be careful about changing something like that because it's very iconic in the world of professional wrestling. Not so much, but something that signifies the modern era, I would say. So we'll go over that, and apparently there are sources in the WWE and sources who work with the WWE that have confirmed a new United States Championship is on the way. So we got all that plus a couple of other things I did not even mention, man. We got a loaded show here today. A loaded podcast right here on Off the Script. Thank you guys so very much for joining me. If you missed part 1, go and check it out. We talk about Stephanie McMahon and the promises that the McMahon family made about a year ago on Monday Night Raw. Remember that? Yeah, I do. And I've yet to see change. If you guys want to go and check that out, on top of that, we talk about John Cena and Edge, my perfect opponents for John Cena and Edge, if they are indeed returning to the WWE in time for WrestleMania season. All that plus so much more on the podcast, sponsored by Tavor yesterday. Thank you once again to everybody over at Tavor for being a part of the Off the Script family. So make sure you guys go and check all that stuff out. Link will be down in the description. On top of everything else, we got SmackDown from last night, we got NXT, we got AEW Dynamite, we got Off the Script Elite on Tuesday, your number one place for all AEW news and rumors right here in the community, and Monday Night Raw. Everything you need will be linked down below, so make sure you guys go and check that out. I know for a fact that YouTube has not been pushing videos to the sub box. I don't know what the hell is going on, so if you guys are here and you might not have realized that, oh, where's this video or where's that video? Check the description. Everything you need is down there. Follow me on social media, man, at JD from NY206. That is on Twitter and Instagram, so thank you guys for all of the follows on social media. I really appreciate it. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Very important. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on that bell for all notifications. If you guys want to support the podcast via Patreon, you guys can certainly do that as well. Patreon.com/JD from NY206. And today's podcast is brought to you by my good friends over at Harry's, as always. You guys know the deal. Harrys.com/script. Right in time for the holidays, man. What guy in your life are you all shopping for? If you're a lady listening to the podcast, if you're female listening to the podcast, you want to shop for your husband? Want to shop for your boyfriend, right? So it makes everybody's life easier when I could give you ladies something that a guy would actually like and actually use. If you're a guy, which I'm sure you are listening to this podcast, who in your life are you shopping for? Maybe your dad, your grandpa, your uncle, your brother, maybe your best friend, maybe somebody in the office that you think is a decent individual while you hate everybody else at work. Talk about cliche gifts, man, during the holidays. Socks, underwear, t-shirts, pajamas. Nobody wants that. Nobody looks at that and says, oh man, I couldn't wait to get socks for Christmas, right? Now, I got something that is both thoughtful and practical, and that is Harry's. Harrys.com/script. I've been using Harry's for almost 3 years now. I love the closeness of the shave. In fact, I could use a shave. In fact, after this podcast and after I'm done here, I'm going to go shave because I haven't shaved in about a week and a half. And it's really annoying. But I love the closeness of the shave. I love the smooth glide of the blade. I love the gel, man. It leaves a tingling sensation on your face. So you guys can get $5 off any Harry's shave set for the holiday by heading to harrys.com/script. It's a practical gift that he'll actually use. Harry's makes sharp, durable blades, German-engineered and award-winning. Backed by a 100% quality guarantee. If you don't love your shave, or if he doesn't love the shave, which I don't know why he wouldn't, you guys are going to get a full refund. Holiday sets start at $20, so if you guys are doing the Secret Santa thing around the office, it's within Secret Santa limits. Harry's blade refills are as low as $2, so your guy will end up saving money over time. It comes ready to gift in a handsome holiday gift box, and your gift actually gives back. 1% of each sale will be donated to charitable organizations. Harrys.com/script. Again, guys, you're going to get a weighted handle with the option to engrave, 5-blade razor cartridges, foaming shave gel with a rich lather, travel cover to protect your blades, and it's packaged, like I said, in a handsome holiday gift box. Harrys.com/script. Give the gift of Harry's this holiday season, and I want to thank them for supporting the podcast right here on Off the Script. All right, man, where to begin? I might as well start with this Adam Copeland Edge situation in the follow-up to yesterday's video, which was the main topic of Off the Script 305 for Friday, part 1. Now, we talked about Edge, and we talked about all the rumors about his WWE return, his rumored big return at the Royal Rumble. Let's go through the chronological order of events that had happened with Edge. Now, he made a surprise appearance at SummerSlam. He got somewhat physical. He actually delivered a spear to Elias. That is getting physical. I don't give a shit what had happened. WWE thought he was good enough to go in there and deliver a spear. With the neck injury or the type of neck injury that he has, WWE allowed him to do that. So it might not be as bad as it once was, and with the technology we have now compared to when he retired in 2011, who knows what type of advancements have been made and what type of procedures that he might have gotten done. We don't know. So he was good enough for that to take a bump. So there you go. So after that, after SummerSlam was over, it was reported that he was quitting the podcast. He was quitting his podcast with his best friend, Christian. The ENC Pot of Awesomeness is now only half awesome. It's just Christian. I haven't listened since, so I don't know what's going on over there. Very unceremoniously just leaving the podcast. The rumors were that he needed to be home and he needed to be a family guy and he needed to take care of the kids because Beth Phoenix was working at Full Sail once a week. It's not like she can't be home the other 6 days. So we needed to take care of the kids. That's what the excuse was. I respect him so much. You know what? I believed him. A little fishy. Doesn't really make sense. Not all that logical. But I believe him because I respect him. He's one of my all-time favorites. Then we get the report that he's in Pittsburgh meeting with head physicians of the WWE. Why would he do that? Is he gearing up for another big bump? Is he going to get involved in something, maybe a segment? Is he going to take a bump here or there? Is he getting back in the ring? Is he going to be competing at Crown Jewel? Did the Crown Prince ask for Adam Copeland by name? We didn't know. Then SmackDown came around on Fox, the debut. Everybody was wondering what was going on. They got Edge. They got all these big names. Velasquez, Lesnar there, right? And everybody was like, maybe Edge shows up. I got tipped off that Edge was going to be a part of the SmackDown brand and that he was going to debut on Fox. That did not happen. Then a couple weeks after that, I heard the same rumor again, a little bit more intensified, and that didn't happen. So that's 2 strikes now. This is the 3rd rumor that we heard about Edge. So obviously, Mike Johnson is reporting now, after he's met with head physicians in Pittsburgh, that Edge has signed a new in-ring talent contract with the WWE. So what does that mean? Nobody knows. Mike Johnson went on to say that he will be a surprise entrant in the Royal Rumble. I don't even know if WWE knows who they want in the Royal Rumble. I don't even think WWE has any plans at all for the Royal Rumble, which is a pathetic situation in its own right because this is your 2nd biggest show of the year and you don't have anything planned, which is a shame. But that's how they do things and that's how they operate. So after all the reports from PW Insider and Mike Johnson that he has signed a really good money deal with the WWE with a beautiful upside, Mike Johnson said that his gut feeling is that fans will see Edge work the Royal Rumble match next month. So we're going off Mike Johnson's report of his gut feeling. That's what the report said. Mike Johnson says he has a gut feeling that Edge will work the Royal Rumble. Gut feelings aren't news. Gut feelings aren't news. I had a gut feeling that a couple of relationships ago that everything was about to fucking crumble. That's a gut feeling. Normally, your gut feeling is something that should be looked at as serious because your body knows if something is right or wrong. Now, this is just wrestling news. This is not a death in the family. This is not a breakup. This is not some fucking horrible situation that's happening in your own life. You're not going to walk into work one day and you got this really bad feeling that you're going to get fired. Then you walk in there and your boss fucking sits you down and tells you, bro, listen, I appreciate all the hard work you did for 13 years, but I got to let you go, man. We got to cut back on payroll. You're not really living up to expectations. You're not making your numbers. I got to let you go. That's a bad gut feeling. That's something that you feel when you walk into that fucking office and sit down with your boss. You kind of knew and you kind of expected, right? When your girlfriend says, honey, we gotta talk. The fuck you gotta talk about? I don't give a fuck about talking. I want to sit down and play Destiny. I don't give a shit about talking. What do you gotta tell me? What do you want for dinner, right? You know, it's like you got that tone when they call you or they tell you they want to talk to you. They sit you down over dinner. Honey, we have to have a serious discussion, right? You know something bad is coming after that. But this is a gut feeling. This is a gut feeling for Mike Johnson. Now, we can't go off gut feelings. Meltzer reported several months ago that Edge was talking about wrestling again. In fact, Edge, like I said, was in Pittsburgh, and it was reported by everybody. Why was he in Pittsburgh? Nobody knows. He's only there for one reason, and that's to get medical clearance to be in the ring. Now, Edge himself took to social media and said this, and I quote, about all these rumors. All he said was this: still not, and still not, period. End quote. Folks, why would you expect Adam Copeland to come on social media and say, guys, I gotta speak to you in the real, I gotta open up to you here on social media right before Christmas. I'm gonna be in the Royal Rumble. I got medical clearance from WWE. I'm gonna be at WrestleMania. And you know what? I might take a paycheck for that sweet Saudi money a couple of times over the next couple of years. And you'll see me in 2020. Why the fuck would he go and do that? Of course he's going to deny these rumors. You have to be a blithering idiot to think that Edge and what he said on social media is legit. There's always a chance. Always a chance. I'm not saying that it's complete bullshit rumor. I'm not saying that he's definitely wrestling. I'm saying, why would Adam Copeland go on social media and say anything but, hey, I'm not wrestling. Cut the shit. It's going to ruin the surprise, right? The Royal Rumble is the one event of the year where the unpredictability is at its most intense. Why would he ruin a moment like that? Everybody's trying to get the news out there. Everybody's trying to clickbait the news. Everybody thinks they're in the know. Everybody thinks they're an analyst. Everybody thinks they're a fucking journalist. Meanwhile, there's some fucking pimply-faced geek sitting in a basement somewhere talking about pro wrestling, right? With still pictures on the video, and you don't see what they look like. Or you're some fucking wrestle geek who clickbaits the fucking title. Edge, there's no way he would come on social media and say, hi guys, I'm about to return. How are you doing? Of course not. So of course he would go out there and say, I'm not wrestling. This is a monumental moment. Just like Daniel Bryan coming back and announcing that he has returned full-time to the WWE or semi-full-time to the WWE. This is just as big, might even be bigger. Because Edge has been out since 2011. Everybody told Edge that he would never wrestle again. They said the same thing about Bryan, but I mentioned that yesterday. I don't think Bryan was as injured as WWE made everybody believe. He was kept out for a certain agenda. And WWE wanted to push Roman Reigns as the new Hulk Hogan or the new John Cena, and it fell flat on their face, and they couldn't do that with Daniel Bryan as hot as he was then. Edge coming back could be even bigger than Daniel Bryan's return because of the severity of his injury and being out since 2011. That's going to be a monumental moment. It's going to be a monumental moment. What does that mean for Sting? If they made advancements in Edge coming back, what does that mean for Sting, who's suffering from the same thing that Edge is suffering from? What about Paige? Paige just signed a new deal with the WWE. If Edge is able to come back, Paige could possibly be given the opportunity to come back as well. They're all suffering from the same thing. Spinal stenosis, neck injury, etc., etc. It's going to be an amazing night if that's the case. You hear fucking Metalingus by Alter Bridge hit that PA system and Edge fucking comes out. Remember when he came out? I forgot what year it was. I'm terrible with years. When he came out, I think number 27 or 28 and won the Royal Rumble. I mean, it was unbelievable. Now, I don't expect him to win the Royal Rumble, but if he comes out and Alter Bridge hits that PA system and he does the fucking fireworks and the entrance and shit, I'm getting chills just even thinking about it. It's going to be great. You know, what a moment to start 2020. I mean, and those moments, you know, I don't expect WWE to have those types of moments all throughout the year because normally they're nothing more than a bag of disappointment. But him coming back is such a big deal. And what do you do with him from that point on? I don't know. I gave you a couple of options yesterday on the podcast. I mentioned Aleister Black. I mentioned pairing him with Randy Orton and bringing back Rated RKO. Maybe a six-man tag with Christian. Maybe get Christian to come back and come out of retirement. They all team together. Randy Orton, Edge, and Christian versus the OC. You could do Edge versus AJ Styles. You could do Edge versus Orton if you wanted to. You know, I know a lot of people are going to go out there and say Edge versus Seth Rollins. I don't care for that. I really don't care for that whatsoever. You could do Edge versus... You could do Edge and Randy Orton versus... I thought of this the other day after I finished the podcast. You could do Edge and Randy Orton teaming up against the Hardy Boys. If Matt Hardy wants to go through WrestleMania and Jeff is able to come back for WrestleMania and the Hardy Boys are back on TV, right? Matt's on Raw. Jeff, I think, is on SmackDown. Nobody even fucking remembers what brand he's on. Put him on Monday Night Raw for the time being and then worry about whatever comes after that. You could do the team of the Hardys against Rated RKO. There's history there. I don't need to go over the history between Matt Hardy and Edge. I don't need to go over the history between Jeff Hardy and Randy Orton. I mean, it kind of books itself. The OC, you could do that. You could do the Hardys. You could do Edge versus AJ Styles. You could do Edge versus Orton if you wanted to. Edge versus Aleister Black. Edge versus Cena was another one. I mean, it's a very interesting situation to think about. So I don't know what they're doing. I know whatever WWE has planned is not even close to what I brought to the table here. I'm sure it's going to be a lot less exciting, and I'm sure it's going to be full of disappointment, and he's coming back for a payday. They'll probably end up putting him against fucking Elias, for all we know, so that Elias could get revenge on the spear that happened in Toronto at SummerSlam on the pre-show. That's where WWE's head is at. They're not in the game to book epic moments. They're not in the game to make memorable fucking moments that you could go back and watch over and over again. They don't give a fuck. They don't give a shit. Edge coming back, and it's a rumor right now. It's a gut feeling by Mike Johnson. Meltzer reported that he's interested in wrestling again, or talks of him wrestling again, and then he came on social media and said, still not, period. So, of course, he's going to deny it. We'll keep a close eye on this situation with Edge as it continues to develop. Cain Velasquez is set to appear at the 2020 Royal Rumble, and I couldn't give a single flying fuck about Cain Velasquez. The guy feels so unimportant. After that loss to Brock Lesnar in 2 minutes, the guy and his mystique, the guy and his credibility all went down the fucking toilet. He didn't do anything for ratings. He is not going to move the needle whatsoever. That was obviously the case when he showed up on Raw and on SmackDown. Tyson Fury did the same thing. He didn't move the needle. In fact, in some weeks, the ratings got worse. So what the fuck is Cain Velasquez to WWE? You go to WWE to die. That's it. WWE is a career killer. You might make the money, but they don't know what the fuck they're doing. They don't know how to handle talent. They don't know how to book storylines. They don't know how to write compelling storylines. So Cain Velasquez has already suffered from WWE's death. I don't give a shit. What is he going to do in the Royal Rumble? Brock Lesnar's not going to be in the Royal Rumble. You mean to tell me that Cain Velasquez is in the Royal Rumble? All that's going to do for me is scare the fucking shit out of me, because now, if he's in the Rumble, then he's more than likely the odds-on favorite to go and win the match and then go to WrestleMania and fight for Brock Lesnar's WWE Championship. Do we really need to see that? I could come up with fucking 3 or 4 different options for Brock Lesnar that would absolutely blow away Cain Velasquez in every sense of the word. If WWE books Cain Velasquez and Brock Lesnar at the Royal Rumble, I don't have any interest. I might not even watch the match. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. That is going to make for some of the worst fucking television that you could possibly ask for on WWE, Monday Night Raw, and SmackDown. I don't want to see it. Cain Velasquez, according to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Meltzer noted that Cain Velasquez is set to appear at the Royal Rumble in 2020. Cain Velasquez's next booking is for the Royal Rumble show. Meltzer does not know whether Velasquez's appearance at the pay-per-view next month will be a part of the men's Royal Rumble match or to start an angle leading to a WrestleMania match. Start an angle with who? With who? He's only got one name listed next to him, and that's Brock Lesnar. If anything, Cain Velasquez is going to be in the Royal Rumble match, because you know how WWE loves to go out there and brag and boast the most star-studded Royal Rumble in history. It's exactly what they'll do, right? And Cain Velasquez, he's with the WWE over the next 3 years, and he's never been in a Royal Rumble match or a match like the Royal Rumble, something that could entice him, something that could really bring out that killer instinct in Cain Velasquez. Seeing him throw out all these different people over the top rope. Goodbye, Bo Dallas. Goodbye, Curtis Axel. See you later. You know, could be a nice look, but him winning it, that's a terrible booking decision. Speaking of WrestleMania matches, it's been reported, just want to throw this out there so that you guys have the terrible creative ideas that WWE is thinking of right now going into WrestleMania. 2 options WWE is considering for Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania is another rematch with Cain Velasquez and a match with Tyson Fury for Brock Lesnar. I mean, if you guys want WrestleMania to be the worst show possibly ever, then by all means, book those matches. Go ahead. And I love how WWE will say, well, this is Cain Velasquez, this is the only place in which it could happen. WrestleMania. I don't give a shit. I didn't want to see it the first time. You know, they're all bragging. You got Corey Graves bragging about it. 2 superior athletes. What superior athlete? I don't give a fuck. A retired UFC guy in Cain Velasquez. Brock Lesnar, who's probably one of the best athletes on the fucking planet. I don't give a shit. They met in the UFC. Keep it in the UFC. You coming into the WWE? Do WWE-like things. I don't want to see some fucking real sport mixed in with a scripted sport. I don't want to see Cain Velasquez destroy Brock Lesnar in a real sport and then get fucking tossed around in 2 minutes and losing in a scripted sport. Doesn't really make him look good. Doesn't make him look good at all. Brock Lesnar versus Cain Velasquez, thumbs down. Tyson Fury versus Brock Lesnar, fucking get the hell out of here, man. I would laugh at every single fucking one of you. I'd laugh at 80,000 people if you bought a ticket to this fucking shit show if that match was booked. I'd laugh in each and every one of your faces. Now, I don't know. I don't know if this is going to be for the WWE Championship or if WWE is thinking about giving Cain Velasquez the WWE Championship. That would be a terrible decision. Absolutely terrible decision, taking into consideration what Monday Night Raw is currently going through. I think that title needs to be on somebody who is on that show full-time. Again, we're back to the same old fucking age-old discussion. Brock Lesnar is a part-time champion. The title needs to be back on the show because you all know what the answer is. WWE's got to build up the United States Championship as something like a World Championship, and they have yet to do that. And they will not do that, and we'll be right back in the same fucking boat that we were in the last 3 years. Where's your main title, and what is everybody fighting over? Nothing. Hopefully this is not the case, because that's a terrible booking decision. We got the Revival. Let's talk about the Revival. The Revival are it could be arguably made that the Revival is probably the best tag team in the world. As far as what they do in the ring, the Revival could honestly be, and if you told me, I think the Revival is the best tag team in the world, I would not look at you like I would look at a normal cretin. I would say, you know what? I respect that decision. I see where you're coming from. And I see why you had chose the Revival as the best tag team in the world. Now, We all know that they've been highly underutilized in WWE. We all know that WWE doesn't give a fuck about tag team wrestling. We all knew that WWE had these guys confront management and they wanted their release because tag team wrestling wasn't flourishing. It was being treated like a joke and blah, blah, blah. They were being treated like a joke. Their creative direction was just god-awful. Then we seen them kind of take the reins and be given the ball, and they held the Raw Tag Team titles and the SmackDown Tag Team titles, Raw Tag Team titles, SmackDown Tag Team titles, and where have they gone as tag team champions? Nowhere. Not one memorable reign. Matches left and right, over and over and over and over again with the New Day. No new competition. Tag team wrestling continues to be an afterthought on both Raw and SmackDown. Both of these divisions could be so packed, and WWE does nothing to fucking fix the problem or rectify the situation. So the Revival have been offered twice deals, long-term deals to sign with the WWE. They have yet to do that. And after everything that I mentioned, you see why they have yet to sign those contracts. So what is WWE going to do? They took Randy Orton away from them. They took the tag team titles away from them. They were only in the TLC match, which was very good, by the way. As far as ladder matches go for tag team matches, that was a very good match with the New Day. They were only put in that ladder match to go after the tag team titles and challenge the New Day because Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler were the number one choice for that match. And then Bobby Roode got suspended for drug violations, and the Revival were plugged in there as a plan B. In no way, shape, or form was A, WWE going to beat the New Day after the New Day just beat the Revival for the tag team titles, and B, WWE is never going to let a plan B win the tag team championships when they were never in the plans to begin with. So you see where the Revival's dilemma is. So then we get the Revival coming out on SmackDown. I think this was the go-home show, if I'm not mistaken, for the TLC pay-per-view, or it might have been the week before that. I don't know. I don't keep track of this shit, because SmackDown in itself is just a fucking chore to just sit through. So, pardon me if I forget something that happens on fucking SmackDown. I'm barely paying attention during SmackDown, because I just don't want to watch it, though I have to. Now, we had Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder on one of the last couple of weeks of TV. Dash Wilder makes his way out with Dawson and trips over the SmackDown stage. You got the new set design. It's kind of, it's kind of sticking out. They got those big little fucking, those big, that don't even make sense. I'm contradicting myself. Those big fucking entrance lights. They look like C's, backward C's. So he trips over the fucking stage set. It's kind of sticking out in the aisleway. And everybody thought he was doing it on purpose, and he didn't know what was there. Or he was doing it on purpose, and he was kind of mocking, the New Day. Or he had just not realized that the set was there right in front of him, and how far it was sticking out, and he accidentally tripped, and he kind of played it off as if he maybe did it on purpose. Whatever the case may be, Dash Wilder fell on SmackDown. Now, are you following me here? Dash Wilder fell and tripped on SmackDown. Now, it seems like that is going to be the basis of their new gimmick change. So the guy falls for whatever reason, whether he did it on purpose or not. It seems like the comedy segments and storylines are set to continue with the Revival, as WWE reportedly has a worrying plan for the Revival going into 2020. In the latest Wrestling Observer newsletter, Dave Meltzer notes that Dash Wilder's planned trip up last week on SmackDown, there you go, it was last week on the Go Home Show, was part of WWE's plan to turn the duo into comedy characters. He says, and I quote, "The Revival only has a few months left on their contracts and haven't agreed to a new deal after attempting to get released months ago. The proposed idea is to do a spoof of the Fabulous Ones, which, funny enough, is actually the original Fargo's heel gimmick in the late 50s. End quote. I'm not familiar with the Fabulous Ones. Forgive me. I am not of that time period. I'd have to go back and watch and understand what Dave Meltzer is trying to explain here with a take on a spoof or a spoof of the Fabulous Ones. So, I have had enough of the Revival being treated like garbage. I've had enough of the comedy shtick. We see too much comedy in WWE to begin with, and it's painfully unfunny. The New Day is all we need as far as jovial and fucking flamboyant and comedy for tag team wrestling. The Revival are, should be, they should be hard asses, right? All no dives, all fists, or whatever the fuck their catchphrase is. They're rugged, old school tag team wrestling. Why are we now portraying them as comedy characters? Now, I'm pretty sure that Dash Wilder and Scott Dawson could pull it off, but is this the best that you got for them? Is this what you think of tag team wrestling? With the amount of talent that you have in both of those divisions that you don't use or don't use properly, I don't get how this is the best you got for both Dash and Dawson. It's painfully fucking sad. It's pathetic. And you want to know why they haven't signed new deals with the company yet. It's a pretty much a fact of they don't trust WWE. Why would they? Why would they trust WWE? Now you know why they haven't signed. And WWE, knowing that they haven't signed, the only reason why they would even attempt a gimmick change when one isn't needed, and the only reason why they would embarrass them and make them comedic characters is because they kind of, right now, are under the impression that they're not going to sign, and WWE is going to do everything in their power to embarrass these two on their way out. And I don't know what good that's going to do, because the more you do that, the more people are going to feel bad for them. And when people feel bad for them, they're probably going to end up following them over to AEW. Listen, they're not going to be a game changer. They're not going to be a tag team that moves the needle. It's just going to be another fucking set of names that goes over to AEW and finds some sort of success and continues their career in some way, shape, or form. They're not going to be, these two guys that are going to transcend the ratings and have them reach Monday Night Raw territory. They're not going to be the ones to, have AEW on a 20-week consecutive streak beating NXT. It's not going to end up that way. They're not that type of tag team. They're not those types of guys. But all I know is tag team wrestling is absolutely at a point right now in WWE where it's non-existent. It's dead. AEW is trying to resurrect tag team wrestling. They've done a very good job of doing that so far. Could be a little bit better. But tag team wrestling and what they have assembled for that division is probably the best in the world right now. And the Revival want to be around the best because they feel like they are the best, and that gives them the best opportunity to test their skills. If they sign contracts to remain with this company, I will forever, never respect Dash and Dawson. Yeah, I understand you're making money for your family. Yeah, I understand you want to provide for your family and give them the best fucking life possible. Right? You want to be the man of the house. You want to be the one to go out there and give your wife and your kids everything that they possibly need for this life, right? College tuition, education. You want to give your family a nice home and a comfortable, living. Dog, house, car, boat, yacht, fucking this, that, whatever. But at some point, you got to sit down and think about yourself. At some point, you got to think about your career. I'm sure your wife or their wives are thinking, he's done so much for us. He's been away from home so long. We don't really see him. And he's been breaking his balls just to give us a great life. We are living comfortably with what you've done so far. It's now about you. I could say the same thing about Rusev. I could say the same thing about Lana, but she signed the 5-year deal. Don't know who would give this woman 5 fucking years to remain with the company at X amount of money. That's another story in its own right. Rusev is in the same boat as these guys. Matt Hardy's in the same boat as these guys. Why? Why would you do that? Hopefully they make the right decision. A gimmick change? It's not a gimmick change because WWE has some big creative plans for them. It's a gimmick change because WWE knows that they are quickly losing grasp of the Revival. They are moving closer and closer to AEW, moving closer and closer to the competition, and they're going to do everything in their power to embarrass them because they don't want to be team players. That's all that is. And it sucks. It's the pettiness of WWE that really angers me as a fan because their actions show you that, A, they don't respect tag team wrestling, and they don't respect the fucking talent that's signed with the company. They want to be fucking high school kids, high school bullies with their talents because they didn't get what they want, right? They didn't get what they want. Go fuck yourself, WWE. You're a bunch of fucking petty fucking assholes. And I hate the way that some of their talent gets treated because of shit like this. All because they want to go and make a better life for themselves. They got to get treated like shit in the process? Come on. Give me a break. And I don't know where you guys have worked. Maybe this is a thing. Maybe you've experienced that. But I know if I give my 2-week notice, my boss is not going to fucking treat me like shit because I don't want to be there anymore. It's just I want a better opportunity for myself. Now, if you have a boss that does that, then he's a fucking piece of shit in his own right. I never worked for anybody that did that. They knew I wanted to leave. They knew I wasn't happy, and they let me sit out my 2 weeks, and goodbye. Goodbye. You move on to something else. WWE, they don't give a fuck. They want to embarrass you on the way out so that your stock is as low as it could possibly be before you move on to something else. Speaking of stock, Killer Kross. Impact Wrestling finally releases Killer Kross out into the wild. He is now out there, and he's looking for his first victim since leaving Impact Wrestling. Impact Wrestling announced that it has finally come to terms on the release of one Killer Kross, who was wanted out of the promotion for what seems to be almost all of 2019. Pro Wrestling Sheet reports Kross and Impact came to an agreement earlier this week following months of talks between the two parties. The report is now that Kross is free to wrestle wherever he likes, and there is no compete clause. The report is that Kross asked for a raise earlier this year due to personal circumstances changing him and needing more income. Instead of granting him the raise, Impact reportedly suggested that he get a second job instead. I didn't really understand what was going on there. I know that Impact, they probably have a very strict budget. And they do allow others on their roster to go out and work the indies. Now, with guys like that, I don't know if they are given select indie promotions to work with. I don't know if they're given a select number of days that they could work. I don't know. Either way, Killer Kross wasn't feeling that he was being properly compensated for what he is going to be able to bring to the table. So he signed a deal. He signed a 3-year deal with Impact. It wasn't for the money that he had immediately hoped for. It was for a much lesser amount. He wanted some stability. He wanted to be with Impact, but he realized that, if they're going to be using me as a big-time player and I'm going to develop my brand and my in-ring skill and my character over the next 3 years, I kind of want to be compensated because I know what they see in me. I know what I could bring to the table. I know how big I could be, and I feel like I'm shortchanging myself. That's what he did. That's what he did instead of negotiate for something that he really felt like he could, be over the next 3 years. So he asked for a raise. They didn't give it to him. And they told him in a dick way, go and get a second job. I mean, that's fucked up. That really is fucked up. That's not really Impact respecting Killer Kross at all. Now, Kross has been very vocal about his desire to leave since the above was reported. Impact released the following short statement on its website, and I quote, Impact Wrestling has come to terms on the release of Kevin Kassar, a.k.a. Killer Kross. End quote. That's all they said. Kross is currently dating NXT signee Scarlett Bordeaux. So he could join her in NXT. We'll have to wait and see what the plans are as of now and what he feels like is best for him after his release. In a YouTube video uploaded to his own YouTube channel, we have Killer Kross teasing a move to WWE NXT. Now, you could go watch this on his YouTube channel. However, that is not the only promotion he decided to tease working in this video and working for in the future. Many fans quickly pointed out in this video that AEW was not featured anywhere in this particular clip. Despite Jon Moxley being featured, he was a part of the New Japan portion of the video. So he does tease New Japan Pro Wrestling as well. Now, he has just signed on to work some select dates with MLW. That's not really him signing full-time with MLW. That's just him, after all this layoff, wanting to go out there and immediately work. That's him wanting to get his brand out there. That's him wanting to get himself in front of an audience. That's him wanting to get himself in the ring. That's him wanting to get himself out there in all the major publications. Hi, I'm Killer Kross. I am no longer with Impact. I'm back doing what I want. I'm a free agent. let the bidding wars begin. Great. But the bidding wars could be over before there is even a bidding war at all. WWE is never done with signing top-tier independent talent. Killer Kross was finally released, and obviously, WWE is very interested in Killer Kross. He could actually end up getting a similar offer to what they offered Hangman Page to join NXT before he signed on with AEW. WrestleVotes is reporting WWE's interest level is significantly high in signing Killer Kross. Sources say he could get and should get a similar offer to that of which was extended to Hangman Page last year. No telling if Kross will sign, but WWE is definitely pursuing him harder than they normally pursue other free agents. End quote. Why is that, folks? Why is WWE pursuing Killer Kross? When is enough with these people? If you don't think this has anything to do with him going to AEW or WWE's fear of him going to AEW, you are a fucking fool. That is absolutely the case. You think they're worried about him going to New Japan? They don't give a fuck about New Japan. You think they're worried about him going to MLW or Ring of Honor? They don't give a fuck about anybody else. They only give a shit about All Elite Wrestling. Again, Killer Kross is not going to move the needle. Is he going to be somebody that AEW actually fucking needs? 1,000%. 1,000%. They need top-tier talent. Killer Kross could be top-tier talent. The only reason why they're going to offer this guy a blank check is for the same reasons that Santana and Ortiz talked about with Van Vliet. When AEW was not a thing, WWE was somewhat interested. When AEW was then pursuing Proud and Powerful Santana Ortiz, then WWE countered with a blank check. Whatever you guys want, we'll make it happen. Their interest in both Santana and Ortiz was a direct effect of AEW's interest. The only reason why WWE became more interested than anybody else was because AEW was in the picture. They said it themselves. Now, AEW is not in the picture. We don't know that for sure. They might be in the picture. They might not be in the picture. For all we know, Killer Kross might go to AEW because we didn't have any idea what Jon Moxley was going to do. We all hinted. We all came to the assumption. We dissected that fucking viral video that he posted immediately after he was let go from WWE or walked out of WWE. We all dissected that shit. We watched it fucking countless times. We made our assumptions that he's going to show up at Double or Nothing. He did show up at Double or Nothing, but it was never a fucking concrete plan. It was never in the writing that he was going to show up. It was never a definite thing that he was going to show up. This could be the same case for Killer Kross. Killer Kross not mentioning AEW when they're the second biggest promotion in North America. Probably the second biggest promotion in the world. And he's not mentioning AEW. Could that be by design? Could he maybe be throwing people off? He mentioned WWE, NXT, he mentioned New Japan, but the one that he left out is the one place where everybody thinks he's actually going to end up. And for WWE to be interested in Killer Kross, why would they be interested in Killer Kross? Do you know how much talent they are hoarding at the moment that they don't even use? Look at the fucking talent that is on TV that they don't know how to use properly. You're going to bring in a Killer Kross and you're going to get me excited about Killer Kross? For what fucking reason? For what reason? He's going to go to NXT. He's going to be a superstar in NXT. And then he's going to get called up like everybody else got called up. And then the mystique is gone. Just look at Ricochet. Look at Aleister Black. Look at Andrade. Look at everybody else before them. Look at the War Raiders. Look at everybody else that is yet to get called up. If you're asking me to get excited about Killer Kross possibly coming to the WWE, why the fuck do they need Killer Kross? They don't have any fucking room in that company for anybody else. Maybe you should look at the fucking talent you got and appreciate what you got that you took away from everybody else and start building them the way that they need to be built. Start booking them the way that they need to be built. Everyone worried about a fucking Killer Kross. Let him go to AEW. Let him go there. Because all he's going to do is go to NXT, then he's going to hit that small ceiling. He's going to hit that ceiling and he's never going to be able to succeed after NXT. He will succeed in AEW. They'll be able to give him just as much as what WWE is going to be offering him. And if I'm Tony Khan, I'm throwing money at a guy like that. Because there really is nobody else in the free agent pool. Who else is there to go after? You need top stars. Now! Not later. Now! Tired of WWE just looking at every free... Oh, they're mine. Oh, they're mine. They're like the greedy fucking kid at Christmas. Oh, it's mine. It's all mine. It's like that Stewie Griffin episode where he had the mind phase, taking everything that he thinks is his. And then his motherfucker slaps him upside the fucking head. WWE's got to get out of this mind phase. Not everybody wants to come to WWE. He's got more of a reason to go to WWE than anyone else because he knows what he's worth and his future wife is there. His future wife works for the company. So who knows what he might be thinking? Who knows what they might be thinking? Yeah, they're apart. Jacksonville and Orlando. It's not that far of a distance, right? What is it, 2 hours, 3 hours? A nice little flight on a jet, half an hour, 45 minutes? Get in a car, drive for 3 hours? Blah, 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 blah. It's not that big of a deal. They actually might have a collective mindset. She'll make as much money as she can in WWE. He goes and make as much money in AEW. Collectively, they have more money than they could possibly ever think of. Where they were a year ago in Impact Wrestling, now look at where they are. Scarlett Bordeaux was still living at fucking home with her family, having to work a 9-to-5 job off of the money that Impact Wrestling was giving her on a weekly basis. She did not want to work anywhere else but Impact, and Impact did not give her any more money. They actually let her go. It's like the hottest fucking female in all of wrestling, and they let her go. I don't know what it says about her in-ring skill. Hopefully she's brushing up on that in the PC. But they let her go. All they wanted was a comfortable living. That could be a factor. Go do what you gotta do. We'll collectively do this thing, in separate companies. Maybe he don't give a shit about that. Maybe he wants to be close to her. I don't know. It's all gonna come down to him. And who's to say that WWE and AEW are the only companies looking at Killer Kross? Master P just bought House of Glory. You think Master P is, one of these guys that, I'm not going to take that seriously. Look, Master P bought House of Glory, blah, 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 blah. Do you know how much money Master P's worth? Do you know the type of businessman Master P is? Do you know the type of influence that Master P has on not only the businesses that he runs, but the entire hip-hop fucking community? The entire culture that is hip-hop music? Do you know the type of influence that he has? You don't think that Master P and all of his investors and everybody that's partnered to purchase House of Glory, you think it's only Master P that purchased House of Glory. You don't know the other fucking 2 or 3 names that are getting involved in this thing. It's a fucking domino effect. If Master P sees something and has his eyes on something, he sees money. And if he sees something and has high hopes in something, then his influence and his power is going to have a trickle-down effect, and everybody's going to be like, well, P likes something, P sees something, maybe we should be on board because he's never really done wrong at all. You think Master P is not looking at Killer Kross? You don't think House of Glory would love to have Killer Kross? You don't think House of Glory is setting things up for 2020? You don't think they want Killer Kross as their first inaugural world champion in this new direction? So who's to say that NXT and WWE and AEW are the only ones in this Killer Kross market? I wouldn't be so quick. WWE just goes to show you that they are greedy. They don't give a fuck about anything. They want to monopolize this entire industry. And in fact, what they're doing while they're monopolizing this industry, they're killing the sport. They're not only killing the sport, but they're oversaturating their own fucking brand and their own company and their own product because they don't want anybody to have another option. They don't want the talent to go out there and seek other options. They don't want the talent to go out there and seek or have any other opportunities. Again, I stress to you, why the fuck do you need Killer Kross when you have people in the PC that you haven't even featured on TV yet? Look at your main roster and look at the talent that you got that you haven't booked at all. That's sitting around waiting to be released. Look at the talent you got on these shows right now that are going through such creative garbage that you have killed every single week you put Raw on TV. I can't get behind him going to WWE at all. He is the one that's going to be the one to make the best decision for himself. I will never tell anybody how much money that they should be making. Never. You go out there and do what you got to do. I can only sit here and tell you as a fan what I think of your decision. Obviously, you got Scarlett there to give you the number one reason as to why you should go to NXT. That's great. That's great. I'm sure she loves you to death. I'm sure you guys love each other. I would not put that as a top priority. You know, it's not out of the realm of possibility that a relationship is not going to be successful if you don't end up in the same fucking company. You know, it is pro wrestling. Things happen. Whatever. Things happen in real life. I want WWE to realize that there is more to this than just fucking taking away from AEW. They have so much that they don't use. So much that they don't even know that they have. They just take, and they just leave to the side. Killer Kross, you know, there's 2 or 3 different guys in NXT right now that are like Killer Kross. Like, why the fuck do you need Killer Kross? You got Drew McIntyre, who's failed to be fucking pushed on TV. You got Damian Priest, who I don't expect to amount to anything in WWE as soon as he leaves NXT. You know, 2 guys right there. You know, who else you got? Who else do you need? Give me a break. Killer Kross needs to do something away from WWE. Otherwise, the only killer in this situation is going to be Vince. The only killer in this situation is going to be WWE. And he won't be Killer Kross in WWE. He will not be able to keep that name. There's no fucking way that Vince is going to look at that guy and say, who did we just sign? Killer Kross? Oh, no, we got to change that name. His mystique already, before he even goes there, is gone. Killer Kross will cease to exist. If you think that name is going to make WWE TV, you are a fucking fool. Who the fuck knows what he's going to be called? Something Kross, right? I don't know what they're going to call him. I don't know what they're going to come up with as far as the new name goes, but you know that Killer Kross will cease to exist. Maybe that's an important part of who he is. Maybe he wants to keep the name. But you know for a fact that Vince has power over all. When you graduate from NXT and you go to Raw or SmackDown and they look at your name, no, we're getting rid of that. We're getting rid of that. How many names has he shortened? How many names has he changed? Give me a break. I find this to be more negative than positive, if anything, with Killer Kross. The money is the money. You could go make your money anywhere you want. Scarlett Bordeaux, she ain't going nowhere. I hope that this guy does what is right for him. Seriously. And I want him to really take this business and where he goes next seriously. Don't make the jump to WWE because it's a fucking dream. It's been a dream to main event WrestleMania or being a wrestler. Listen, you could dream and aspire all you want. But there's dreams and there's reality. Not everybody gets to that reality. Unless you are chosen by them, you ain't going nowhere. I say go to Jacksonville. That's the best place for him to end up. And if I'm Tony Khan, if I'm Cody, I'm getting on the phone right now. Luke Harper and Killer Kross, both on the fucking list. Number 1 and 2. Get them both over to AEW. Guys, I'm going to take a little bit of a break. We got more news coming up. We got Jeff Hardy news. We got Matt Hardy news. We got Royal Rumble news. Street Profits and the New Day sign new contracts. So much more yet to come right here on the podcast. Quickly, this podcast today is also sponsored by The Ridge. Ridge.com/script. Use code SCRIPT at checkout for 10% off. The Ridge helps you carry what you guys need to every single day, from streamlining how you carry cash and cards in their flagship Ridge wallets to their portable charging commuter backpacks. They want to make the most out of what you are bringing with you every single day. I've had the Ridge wallet for over a year now. I absolutely love it. I love how stylish it is. I love how it feels in my hand. I love the small, compact nature of it. I love the fact that it doesn't bend, fold, or wither away like my old wallets used to do. It always looks clean and, like I said, stylish. I also love the fact that it has RFID blocking quality so that I know my ID and my card information is absolutely 100% secure in the Ridge wallets. The Ridge is so confident that you'll enjoy the product. They've made it as simple as possible. Free shipping so you guys can get it fast. Free returns in case you don't like it. And if you do like it, there's a lifetime guarantee. There's also 30,000 5-star reviews, so they've got a lot to be confident about. The Ridge is super durable, made from military-grade materials like titanium and carbon fiber. I have the titanium wallet, and it's held up beautifully throughout the year with daily use. And it's also proven to be bulletproof, waterproof, and chainsaw-proof as well, just to give you guys an idea of how durable these wallets really are. Guys, if you want a great Christmas gift, not only for that special guy in your life, or just for yourself, treat yourself. Ridge.com/script. Choose the wallet you want. Choose the knife that you want. They got beautiful knives, commuter backpacks, charging blocks, everything you guys need to make your life easier on a daily basis. Ridge.com/script. Use code SCRIPT at checkout for 10% off. And I want to thank my good friends over at The Ridge for sponsoring the podcast. Happy holidays to them, and I hope to be with them throughout 2020, guys. Ridge.com/script. Use code SCRIPT at checkout for 10% off. All right, guys, let's talk about this Jeff Hardy situation. Apparently, WWE is adding more time on top of Jeff Hardy's contract for the time that he's been out with injury, and for the time that he's been drunk, and for the times that he has beaten his wife, and the times that he has driven with a revoked license. Jeff Hardy's getting more time added on top of his contract. I love Jeff Hardy. I want Jeff Hardy to be mentally and physically 100%. Jeff Hardy is a fucking future Hall of Famer. I grew up with Jeff Hardy, as did you guys. We love and respect both Matt and Jeff Hardy. WWE's adding time on top of his contract, and I do not blame WWE at all for this situation. For as many times as I shit on WWE, there is a very small nugget every now and then that I'll take and I'll be like, this looks good. Dip it in some barbecue sauce, throw it in my mouth. That was delicious. Gotta give WWE some credit. Gotta give WWE a bone every now and then. I don't blame them for adding time on top of Jeff Hardy's contract because they looked at the Hardys. They brought them in. They expected whatever they want from the Hardys. I don't know what the fuck they expected from the Hardys or what they wanted from the Hardys. I doubt if Jeff was out, right? If Jeff was out, then clearly we're heading towards, a split of the Hardys. So we know that this is the inevitability right now with what we got with this current situation. If Matt and Jeff were healthy and they were still on TV and Jeff wasn't hurt and Jeff didn't go through his personal problems, where would the Hardys be? Where would the Hardys be on TV? There's no competition. They don't add any depth to the tag team division. WWE fails every which way about tag team wrestling, or in regards to tag team wrestling. The Hardys would have not felt anywhere close to important at all. With that big WrestleMania 31 pop that they got, they would have never even come close to that. They would have just been like everybody else. Ordinary. I don't blame them in this situation because WWE is looking at the Hardys and they wanted a certain few perks in return. Social media retention. They're some of the most over guys in the entire world still in the business. They're one of the most popular acts in the history of the WWE. All the social media retention, all the intrigue, all the interest, all the people that still want to go out there and watch the Hardys, they still get a bigger reaction than anybody on the current roster right now. There is no return investment on the Hardys. There's none. So WWE has every given right to add time on top of Jeff Hardy's contract because they did not get a return investment. Why should WWE have to pay for Jeff Hardy's fuck-ups? So I don't blame them in that situation. Now, the story is being reported by Fightful and Sean Ross Sapp that Jeff was actually supposed to be cleared to wrestle in early November, but is currently dealing with legal issues. It's also been reported that WWE is adding time on top of Hardy's deal for a period of time that he spent off the road due to his injury and personal problems. Now, Matt is being clearly affected by this. The broken one, the broken brilliance of Matt Hardy is being affected by this. Why is Matt Hardy being used on TV? Why is Matt Hardy being used on TV? Is Matt Hardy being used on TV because they realize that they have the other Hardy after all this time? Do they appreciate the other Hardy? WWE never appreciated Matt Hardy. Never. In all the years that Matt Hardy has been a WWE employee, they never, ever, and I'll fucking take this to the fucking tomb, nobody in that company ever appreciated Matt Hardy. Nobody. They might say, oh yeah, we appreciate their efforts and their legends and their pioneers and all this other bullshit. When it boils down to it, push the bullshit out of the way. They always looked at Jeff as the superstar. They always looked at Matt Hardy as the other Hardy. Don't give me this shit. And you mean to tell me now, after all this time, Jeff has been out all year. He hasn't been on the shows all year. Now, you plan on using Matt Hardy. For what? For what? All Matt Hardy is a glorified jobber with a Hall of Fame name. That's all he is. They brought him back to work while Rebby was still pregnant, about to give birth. They called him one day, hey, we need you. We need you to job to Buddy Murphy in 3 minutes. Rebby took to social media and said, now, all year, he hasn't been on Raw. Now you need my husband while I'm about to give birth to job to Buddy Murphy. Don't fuck with Rebby Hardy on social media. I'm telling you right now, you're in for a fucking, you might as well just fucking start building your own coffin. Never mind anything else that's said. You get her, and her wrath aimed at you, goodbye. It's all over. So she threw WWE under the bus. What does WWE need Matt Hardy for now? You mean to tell me WWE woke up and said, you know what? We're going to use Matt Hardy because he's going to add depth to Monday Night Raw. Matt Hardy has been in a losing situation against Drew McIntyre. He's been in a losing situation to Buddy Murphy. He's been in a losing situation in that fucking gauntlet match. I wanted to say something else. You know, the 7 minutes of TV time that never should have happened on TV, a.k.a. jobbing to Ricochet, a.k.a., wasting his time, a.k.a. filling 7 minutes of TV time that really should have never existed, a.k.a. a match to get Humberto and Andrade on TV and continue their feud, where WWE could have easily booked whatever the fuck they did with Humberto and Andrade away from the gauntlet match. That gauntlet match. You needed him for that. The guy has lost. The guy hasn't even appeared on TV outside the last 3 weeks and hasn't accumulated a win, but I'm to believe that he's supposed to get a United States Championship opportunity? What type of fucking bullshit am I watching? Yeah, WWE loves Matt Hardy so much that they're going to give him a job on Monday Night Raw when he was on the roster the entire fucking year. So much so that he had to walk away because he was just so fucking burnt out from the road and stressed out and not being used and creative indifference and this and that he's on YouTube making his own YouTube videos. He's on YouTube bringing back the broken character because he's planning his exit eventually. And I don't blame him. He knows what WWE is doing. WWE is only using him now because of A, they feel like they have to because Jeff is going through what he's going through, and B, if they give him some hope and they give him some work and they give him some sort of direction, then maybe they think that maybe he'll think that they might want to use him and they'll want to sign him to a contract. Maybe he'll sign the new contract. Not going to be the case. Matt is gone. Matt is not going to stick around and wait for Jeff because he knows that if he does wait around, that nothing is going to come of it. He has to sign another long-term extension to stay with this company just to work with Jeff in any sort of capacity. Meanwhile, don't you think he's thinking about all this? If he signs a 3-year deal, which at minimum they'll give him 3 years, maximum they'll give him 5 years. Neither one of those sounds like a good idea. If Matt signs a 3-year deal and Jeff still has a year left on his contract now, or a year and a half now, right? And Jeff up and walks away while Matt is still stuck where he doesn't want to be. How does that make him look? It makes him look like a fucking idiot. Meanwhile, Jeff is going through what he's got to do. Matt will have succumbed to Jeff's fucking troubles and did the right thing for his brother and stay with the company and work with Jeff and the Hardy Boys return and we got this momentous return, right? Who gives a shit about that? Leave. Leave. Go somewhere else. Wait for Jeff to finish his commitments with WWE. You talk it over with him, and then he leaves and joins you wherever else you go and end up. And then you do what you got to do. Why stay with these people? Why? Obviously, it's affecting him. I'm pointing to this over here. You see me doing this over here. I'm pointing to this fucking Funko Pop I got on my desk over here. Like it's a fucking real fucking thing, you know? Anyway. WWE always looked at Matt as the other Hardy. So the company, to their credit, also have urged Jeff to start taking his health seriously and have reportedly advised him to get some serious help. Again, probably more time added on top of his contract. We don't know how much time he had left on his current deal. We don't know how much time he's going to be out or how much time he's going to be out, and the WWE is going to tack all that time on top of his existing contract. He could be looking at another 2 years here. Why would Matt wait around 2 years for Jeff? It doesn't make sense. The issue of WWE freezing Jeff's contract will likely not affect him, but also his brother will likely affect him, and it's going to affect Matt too. Matt has seemingly confirmed his desire to leave WWE in the coming weeks and was likely hoping his brother would join him so the duo could team together on the independent scene again, maybe in AEW, maybe in Ring of Honor, maybe in MLW, maybe go to New Japan. Who the fuck knows where they end up? I'm sure AEW would love. I'm sure Tony Khan would love to have the Hardy Boys. During Fightful Select Q&A, a question was asked about the WWE superstars working through injuries. If they're hurt, they might not tell management about their issues. This is another portion of this story here. If a WWE superstar is pulled off the road, then their contracts could be frozen, a.k.a. Jeff Hardy. This presents a big problem for WWE superstars who want out of the company. Sean Ross Sapp says this, and I quote, "Yes, if they want out of their deal, it does encourage wrestlers to not report an injury, or it encourages superstars to ask for their release, but be willing to work. That's why a lot of people haven't had time frozen on their deals. They've been requesting their releases, but saying that they'd work through it as well. So WWE can freeze their contracts if they miss a show briefly for a week or they can't show up or something like that. But if they're ready, willing, and able to show up and do the job, then they can't freeze them. I think it does encourage wrestlers to not report injuries. Unfortunately, there are some that have to because you physically just can't perform." That's a sad fucking environment to work in, man. And it's not just if you're out for a week or 2 weeks and you're banged up and you need to just recuperate, right? Like Kyra's saying, she'll probably be out 2-3 weeks, hopefully at most, with this minor concussion that she's suffering from. WWE's not going to add 3 weeks on top of Kyrie Sane's existing contract. You know, you got to be out. I believe it's after 6 weeks, I do believe, then WWE. After that 6-week period, then WWE can start adding time on top of your contract. That's why Sasha Banks, I do believe, was on the verge of coming very, very close to that. She was out for almost 2 months. And then Sasha Banks was negotiating a new deal on that time. And, you know, they planned for her return. So she signed the new extension. She came back. Everything was good to go. WWE was under the impression that she was staying and coming back. So they didn't really do anything to her. You know, because there's no need to in that situation. A couple of weeks missed, you're not going to be the one to get time added on top of your contract. So it's, I believe, 6 weeks. After that, then WWE can start adding time on top of your contract. But in this situation for Jeff Hardy, you know, like I said, for all the time that I shit on WWE, I do not find fault in them here. I absolutely 100% back them in this situation. I think I would do the same thing. Not only I think, I would do the same thing. So WWE, to me, is doing the right thing with Jeff because they're not getting a return investment on him. And Matt is suffering. So don't take it out on fucking Matt because of Jeff's fuck-up. You know, treat him like you would treat Jeff. Would you treat Jeff this way? He looks at that, he's like, they treat my brother better than I was ever treated, and here I am. I'm ready to work, I'm healthy, I'm ready to go, and they still won't use me because I'm not Jeff Hardy. Do you know what that does to one's psychology? Do you know what that does to one's fucking mind when they see that shit? Of course he wants out. And I hope that he does. WWE doesn't need him. They haven't needed him all year. Now they needed him. Now you need him. So he's going to be needed by someone else, and he's going to give everything he has to them. Again, he's not going to move the needle. Nobody's going to move the needle. But you're undervaluing and underappreciating talent, and you could fucking kiss their ass. Because I love when talent gets disgruntled enough, and in this case, Matt Hardy, who knows that he's got so much more left to give still, and wants to give to the industry that he's fucking loved all his life, you know? This is his passion. Go do it somewhere else. Clearly, WWE doesn't appreciate your passion or appreciate the passion of pro wrestling, period. Go and do it somewhere else. I don't blame them for Jeff Hardy whatsoever. Bully Ray was on Busted Open, and he said this about WWE treating Matt Hardy. And I quote, "It almost seems like WWE takes their frustrations out on Matt for whatever Jeff Hardy may have done wrong. Any mistake that Jeff has made, anybody could make one time or another. And that's why people gang up on people like that with Jeff for a mistake they made, whatever the mistake is. Drunken, driving, or that. This stuff happens. It could happen to you. It could happen to a family member. It could happen to anybody. And hopefully he's learned from the mistakes. These guys are my brothers. It just always winds up on the back burner, and he keeps reinventing himself. And that is the kick in the balls. He takes it on the chin. He reinvents himself. V1, big money Matt, broken. It's mad that he gets all of this stuff over. I think he gets put on the back burner, and it's ridiculous. It's exactly WWE. I just got through saying that. I didn't listen. I don't listen to Busted Open. I don't listen to them at all. But with what I just said, WWE has always looked at Matt Hardy as the other Hardy. He was never in the same vein as Jeff Hardy. And now they want to use him. For what? There's some hidden fucking agenda underneath that. They're using him to give him a glimmer of hope that they will use him after he signs a new deal. Because now they want to use him. Conveniently, his contract's coming up in February. Yeah, let's use him now. You had him all fucking year. He could have been a fucking great support player in the mid-card, and you didn't do anything with him. So why should he now look at you and say, you know what, I love you guys enough to stay? No. He needs to love himself enough to fucking leave. Two major stars possibly returning to the WWE at the Royal Rumble. Now, one of these I can't wait for. The other one, she could stay out as long as she wants. 2019 has been the year of injuries for WWE. A good number of superstars have suffered very serious injuries throughout the year. Two of these stars include Nia Jax and Ruby Riott, neither of whom have been seen on WWE TV since WrestleMania 35 in April. Riott has undergone surgery on both shoulders, and Jax managed to tear both ACLs at WrestleMania, and she has undergone successful surgery. Fightful Select is reporting that WWE's internal injury list has both women down to return as of January 2020, and there's a certain match WWE likes to have people return into, and that is the Royal Rumble. You guys know the deal. Fightful says this, and I quote, Nia Jax is back at the Performance Center preparing and training for a WWE return. WWE's internal list has her as 1/2020. Ruby Riott internally was listed as the same 1/2020. Now, Nia Jax actually took to social media and said that the return rumors of her imminent return are all lies. Dave Meltzer wrote in the Wrestling Observer newsletter, on top of Fightful's report, that Jax is returning, and it's coming soon. She's training at the PC. Then, when she's seen people talking about her coming back, she said this with a one-word response on Twitter, and I quote, lies. End quote. Good. Good. I hope that you are very truthful in the fact that you are standing behind lies. I hope that you really do think it's lies. I hope it's fucking truth. I hope the words coming out of your mouth are truth. I don't want her on TV ever again. Ever. I don't know what value she could bring any women's division in the WWE. She is absolutely fucking worthless in every sense of the word. The women's division right now sucks beyond fucking repair. You add Nia Jax to that, I don't even think you could fucking repair the women's division ever again. That's how bad she is. You think Nia Jax with two good knees is going to do anything? Give me a break. Nia Jax is one of the worst female performers I think the WWE has ever seen. She adds no value. Stay on E! Network. That's all I got to tell you. Lies. I hope so. I hope so. I hope for your sake that you're telling the fucking truth. Nia Jax. Give me a fucking break. The best thing Nia Jax did in WWE was benefit from Becky Lynch breaking her face. And the best thing that happened to Nia Jax was breaking Becky Lynch's face, not only for herself, because it made her, talked about for that entire week, but it helped Becky Lynch get catapulted into WrestleMania's main event. So thank you, Nia Jax. At least she wasn't completely fucking worthless. Moving on. Because I don't want to spend too much time on irrelevant fucking superstars. Street Profits signed new multi-year deals. It was revealed on WWE Backstage with fucking Ryan Satin of the Satin Sheet. The fucking loser sheet. Kofi Kingston's contract was up. He signed new multi-year deal as well with the WWE. In fact, all of the New Day signed multi-year deals with the WWE. This is nothing new. Where are they going? They're going to go to AEW? AEW? No, they're not. WWE, they're WWE lifers. Woods, E, and Kofi are WWE lifers. They owe everything to Vince McMahon. Where are they going? Them leaving would be like, I don't know, me playing fucking third base for the New York Yankees and winning 6 World Series rings. Not happening. Or me being on stage fucking, filling in for Kerry King during Slayer's last fucking concert ever. Not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. So Ryan Satin reports that Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods, and Big E signed new multi-year deals. On top of that, the Street Profits, Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins, have extended their stays with the company as well. No word on the Street Profits' length of the contract, but the New Day have all signed 5-year deals. In an interesting side note, Satin revealed that the New Day negotiated the same exact deal with the WWE, and they all wanted to be paid the same exact to show their solidarity to be considered as equals. Good job. Class men are Big E, Xavier, and Kofi Kingston. Good on them. I love the New Day. When they want to be serious, I love the New Day, but let's get these guys some fucking competition, please. Let's get these guys a division and build around the New Day, please. I've been asking for fucking, I don't even know how long. Let's get some tag team wrestling in the WWE. You got too many guys who are too talented in the tag team division to be wasting away like they are. The Street Profits, listen, Montez Ford is loving life right now. You see it written all over his face. Every time he opens his mouth, he's loving life. He's got a beautiful fucking wife in Bianca Belair. He's living life. He probably wanted to do this ever since he came out of the fucking womb. So he's happy. He's living his dream. Good for them. Hopefully they get starts, or they start getting, I can't even fucking speak right now. My allergies are fucking kicking in. Hopefully they start getting booked in a better fashion, because they look like fucking comedy hour on WWE Raw. So hopefully they get booked in a better situation, or better situations in 2020. And they probably, I would assume, I don't know if they had existing deals. There was no word on them having contracts come up yet. Maybe they just signed an extension that equals 5 years. So we'll see what happens with that. I'm sure it'll be revealed within the next couple of weeks, as this story is just being broken this week. So we'll figure that out as we get along with the rest of the news. Street Profits and the New Day signed new multi-year deals with the WWE. 205 Live possibly canceled. No shows listed in 2020. This report comes from Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Live, but WWE has yet to make an official announcement. The Cruiserweight show, 205 Live, has undergone several changes in the last few months, and it didn't even air on October 4th or November 22nd with zero reason given. A number of 205 Live's biggest former stars have also moved on to the main roster. Mustafa Ali, Buddy Murphy, Akira Tozawa, all trying to make a name for themselves on Monday or Friday nights. It is by far and away the least watched show out of WWE's 4 weekly TV shows, and currently has a roster of just 7 performers. 7 people, folks. Why even bother? Just fucking merge them with NXT at that point. 7 people. Despite the initial brilliance of the Cruiserweight Classic, which was probably one of the best produced things that the WWE has ever done, WWE clearly had no real direction for the show, and it goes to show you why they are nothing more than a bag of disappointment is WWE. Seems like that moves are being made in case of 205 Live coming to an end, including General Manager Drake Maverick, obviously moving over to Monday Night Raw, or SmackDown, I should say, and he actually might be Baron Corbin's new manager. His new heel manager, which we discussed yesterday on the podcast. So, I am not about that at all. I don't even want to think about that. But 7 people is their current roster right now. What is the fucking point? What is the point? Just merge them with NXT. Tony Nese is too good to be wasting away. Whoever else is on there, I don't even fucking know. Leo Rush, Angel Garza, they're already on NXT. Oney Lorcan, he's already on NXT. Who else is there? Nobody that I give a shit about. Isaiah Swerve Scott, he's been used on there. He's already on NXT. Just merged them with NXT. Cancel the fucking show. It's a complete waste of time. Nobody ever appreciated it in the fucking spotlight that it was given after SmackDown Live. Look at Lio Rush and Angel Garza getting over in Full Sail. Look at that. You're better off just portraying them in NXT and then possibly at takeovers when needed or when it's called for. 205 Live was a complete waste. WWE fucked up the cruiserweights from day one. They didn't know how to handle them. They didn't care. They didn't want cruiserweights, so why add cruiserweights? It was exclusive to Monday Night Raw back in the 2016 draft, and then what did you see? You seen them eventually get their own show, but all that they featured the cruiserweights in was 2-minute 8-man tags. 3-minute 8-man tags. 3-minute 6-man tags. This is how you get cruiserweight. How the fuck can you get your shit in and get your shit over in a match with 7 other fucking people? 5 other fucking people? How can you get your shit in and be like, hey guys, I'm the new guy around here. Please enjoy what I do. Can't do it. You can't do it. WWE wasted the cruiserweights instead of really giving Monday Night Raw a special feel with the cruiserweights and building a legit division that could be featured weekly and people care about. They gave them 2-minute matches and nobody fucking cared. They used it as a bathroom break. They used it to get up and go to the fucking concessions. Nobody gave a shit. Before it started, it was over. Their ring entrances were fucking longer than the actual match. This is what WWE did with the cruiserweights. Instead of using them in the open of the show to get some fucking high octane, high adrenaline, fucking, oh my god, look at this shit, 20-minute cruiserweight match. These guys are going at it. Great athletes, getting them over in front of a wider audience, in front of the fucking dwindling audience that is Monday Night Raw. They didn't do anything with them. They didn't do anything with them. You wanted to make the cruiserweights feel special? Open the show, not every week with a cruiserweight match. Give them a dedicated time slot. That's not the fucking third hour. If you want the Cruiserweight Championship to be important, put it on in the fucking main event of the show and build towards something special. Angel Garza and Lio Rush, from what we seen on NXT, when Angel Garza won the Cruiserweight Championship last week, there's no way you could fucking tell me that could not main event Monday Night Raw. There's no way you could tell me. I would look at you and you tell me no, and I'd fucking slap you upside the head so hard your eyes would be fucking rolling in the back of your head. I don't know how anybody could say Angel Garza and Lio Rush could never main event Monday Night Raw. That match was better than probably every single match in the last 6 months on Monday Night Raw. I don't know what else you want me to tell you. They could absolutely, undoubtedly main event that show. They didn't give a shit. WWE, when WWE wants to know, when Lio Rush and Angel Garza and everybody that put their fucking blood, sweat, and tears in that show ask themselves over a cold beverage, why did 205 Live fail? It's because WWE only used it as another hour of television and they didn't give a shit about it. WWE allowed it to fail because they don't fucking care. And that's a fucking shame. Cancel it. Cancel it. I'd rather see it canceled than these guys just dwindle away with a roster of 7 after SmackDown Live. Move them to NXT and that's it. I don't know who else is on there that would even thrive on Monday Night Raw or SmackDown Live. Mustafa Ali, Chad Gable, they ain't doing much of anything on SmackDown. You got Akira Tozawa, he's a fucking jobber to the stars on Monday Night Raw. Cedric Alexander isn't even featured on Monday Night Raw anymore after fighting for the US titles on fucking main event, right? Who else is there? Lio Rush and Angel Garza are the only ones finding success. Why? Because they're on NXT. Get rid of it, cancel it, it's better off. Just kill the fucking show dead. WWE is planning to unveil a new United States Championship. According to Belt Fan Dan and his Twitter account, WWE has already taken delivery of a brand new United States title belt, but it doesn't know what it looks like or when it's being introduced. The US belt has a lot of history and has been around for half a century. So WWE briefly retired the belt in 2001, reintroduced it in 2003, and has been a mid-card title ever since in the company. The belt underwent a brief redesign when John Cena was champion in 2005, but other than that, the design has been consistent. It's one of the most famous belt designs, so WWE will have to be I mentioned this before, WWE is going to have to be very careful about how they design this belt. It needs to have a absolutely modern look, but it has to have a clear-cut resemblance of that old-school style that we see now. Whatever they do, I'm sure whoever's in charge of this has handled it very well. if it's the same people that made the Intercontinental title that Shinsuke Nakamura has, that new one, I am going to go out on a limb and say it's going to look great. Because that Intercontinental title looks fucking sexy as fuck, man. I love that title. It looks really good. Looks like an NXT title. It immediately shot up to one of the best-looking titles in WWE. That IC title looks great. Hopefully we can say the same thing about the new US title. I don't know who is going to be the recipient of this title. Whether it's Rey Mysterio or maybe an Orton or maybe a Styles. I don't know. So we'll see what happens with that. But apparently we're getting a new United States Championship. Couple other stories here. Becky Lynch shoots on how WWE superstars should be able to script their own promos. She was recently interviewed by the Gorilla Position podcast live in London. And Becky says this about scripting promos, or superstars scripting their own promos, which has been a tired fucking, argument. We all know exactly what's could be if the pro wrestlers themselves script their own promos with bullet points and they're not written by somebody else. I mean, just look at Jericho, look at Cody, look at MJF. That's all you need as far as an example to what I'm about to say here. I think I would give the wrestlers more freedom to talk and be able to cut their own promos because we know ourselves what our mission is. We know why we want to do things, why we don't like to do things, and why we don't like people. If we don't know those things, then we shouldn't be in WWE. Can you blame the woman? I know I can't. She hit the nail on the head. Right there. We know ourselves and what our mission is. We know things and we know why we don't like people. It's very difficult to fucking put the pen and paper in front of a fucking four-eyed geek in WWE Creative who doesn't know how to spell the word fucking wrestling. He's going to look at somebody like Becky Lynch. You don't even know what the fucking product is about. He met Becky Lynch 3 days ago, and you're going to have him write for Becky Lynch. Yeah, great job there, Vince. Pro wrestling, one of the best things about pro wrestling is watching a performer go out there and create their vision of what they want to be. That's why we love MJF so much. That's why we love Chris Jericho so much. That's why we love Cody so much. They understand, right? I wish that was the case, but unfortunately, it's not going to be the case. Everything in WWE has to be so meticulously fucking scripted. It's gotten to a point where Eric Bischoff said the show is not even real. It's too overpolished. I wish they would go back and start giving some of their superstars, I'm not saying all because not everybody deserves that type of liberty, but the bigger names on the roster, the ones that are frequently featured on TV, I would let go out there and just cut their own promos. Let's see how good they really do. Maybe they don't. Maybe WWE knows something that we don't. Maybe they know that Rollins isn't really a good promo and he needs to be written by somebody else. I don't know. But you never know unless you try. You never know what you got. Maybe we might look at somebody like Seth Rollins. If it's not scripted and he's not remembering fucking lines written by somebody else, maybe if he goes out there and cuts a fucking promo from the heart, maybe we'll like him a little bit more. That's also a positive that could come with that as well. Because even though MJF is a fucking dick and he's a condescending prick, we all love him. Just look at him speak. Jericho's a heel. How many times when Jericho picks up that microphone, you fucking listen and you love hearing him talk. That's not a heel. That's not a complete blown heel. That's more respect. But you guys get my point. They need to start letting their people cut on promos. It would make the shows so much better. Because right now, you all know, Raw and SmackDown right now are the drizzling shits. We got Primo Colon. Yes, he's still with the company. Primo Colon claims he didn't get suspended for failing a WWE drug policy. So this is an interview that was conducted with Primera Hora. The former tag team champion, Primo Colon, revealed, yes, former tag team champion, believe it or not, revealed that he didn't actually get suspended from the company for failing drugs, just for not actually taking the test at all. And I quote, "I was not on the road, on tour with the company. I was not scheduled for any event in the near future. I am in Puerto Rico when they called me suddenly, not to use me, but to travel to do a doping test. I was ready to do it, but I told them I was in Puerto Rico and I was willing to go to a place, a laboratory that they choose down here in Puerto Rico without any problem, without any discomfort. I was not going to pay for a trip just to go get tested for doping. I didn't hear anything from the company, and I thought they were going to call me when they found a place to do the test. Almost 2 months pass, and I get a letter that I'm suspended, according to them, because I refused to take the test. That is not correct. They took it as I was out of the country, but I was available. I don't want them to say that I failed a test because that is totally false and incorrect. They usually do their doping tests at events. Someone appears there to collect urine of fighters, employees, referees, to do their evaluation once a month. I did not say anything positive. I was in Puerto Rico. I have to clarify it because my reputation is worth more than any check. End quote. There's no reason for anybody not to believe his story. There's none. The WWE hasn't featured. I think the last time we seen them was last Survivor Series. Not this Survivor Series, but last year's Survivor Series. That was a whole year off of television. They haven't been traveling with the company for some fucking odd reason. They're still employed by the company. They're still being paid by the WWE. I don't understand that at all. You have no value in these guys. Why haven't you released them to go and do what they need to do? Who the fuck are the Colones to anybody? Seriously. Why are you paying these people? Why go through the headache of even picking up the phone? Why even put the effort in to pick up the phone and tell him that you haven't used in a fucking year? Yeah, man, we need to go get you drug tested. Can you come to the States? Can you come to the office and get drug tested? What the fuck do you think he's gonna tell you? You haven't even bothered to pick up the phone to use the motherfucker. Why would he come and show up? Why do you even care if he's on drugs or not? Who gives a shit? What a dumb fucking situation. Look at how stupid WWE looks in this situation. I don't blame him at all. And I love that last line. My reputation's worth more than any check. Fuck them. You want me to get tested? You find a place where I am and then I'll go get you a fucking test. I'm not flying up to you guys to go get tested and then you not use me. Fucking ridiculous, man. It's a two-way street there, bro. You're not using them. Why the fuck do you care about them getting tested? Final story here before I get the fuck out of here. Another idiot. Cara. Permission for Cara to use the Cara name? Not happening. WWE owns the rights to all likenesses and name of Cara. So what do you think this guy goes and does? He goes and performs in AAA. He goes and performs for AAA wearing the Cara mask. And he goes and performs with AAA under the name of Cara. And the cherry on top of this fucking drizzling fucking shit Sunday is the fact that he has a 90-day non-compete. So the guy goes to AAA and says, fuck Vince, I'm gonna go and work. So just over a week ago, Cara was released from the WWE. The news confirmed by WWE on 12/8, the same day that the company let Luke Harper and the Ascension leave. Following the releases, several news sites reported that the four release stars would be unable to compete until March 8th, 2020. 90-day non-compete. Now, this made it all more surprising when Cara appeared at a AAA show in Mexico last Saturday using his WWE name and gimmick. Many speculated that WWE had decided to waive Cara's 90-day non-compete, which I don't know why they didn't do. Who the fuck is this guy? Why? I don't understand why they did not. What is the reason? I'd love to know. Oh, it's in the binding contract. Oh, it's part of the Who gives a shit? Who the fuck is Cara that you want to see just sit at home for 90 days? Who?
I don't have an answer for that. Is there something else I can help with?
See? She don't even know either. My phone is in my desk and it's fucking going off. Fuck Apple and their goddamn products, man. Fucking demonic shit over here. Why? Why is Cara under a 90-day no-compete? The only thing I could possibly think of is WWE want and they take great pride and pleasure in being dicks. There's no reason. There's no reason to keep this guy locked up for 90 additional days when you did not give a fuck about this guy for 6 fucking years. You didn't give a fuck about him. So what's the difference in the last 90 days that he's employed by the WWE? Give me a fucking break. Now, Meltzer reported that Vince McMahon gave no permission to Cara or AAA for him to use the name at the show. He says, and I quote, regarding Sin Cara using the name in AAA at their show last Saturday, there was no deal worked out with him or WWE to be allowed to use the name. He was on a 90-day non-compete. The situation got very interesting if WWE decides to take legal action against Sin Cara in AAA. So obviously, nothing has come about it as of yet. So he went on and changed his name. So he changed his name, Hunico, in WWE, who was playing the Sin Cara character. He's going now by the name of Cinta de Oro, which was the name of a luchador from the late 1980s, and his mentor, his idol, former NXT Tag Team Champion, which was probably the best fucking run of his life, has changed his social media names to reflect as such. He is now Cinta de Oro, and I don't roll my R's. I can't, so I'm sorry for everybody listening to me. Oro, yeah. And also posted a picture with the sons of the original Cinta de Oro on Instagram, who have given him the blessing to use the name. PW Insider is reporting on him, and the old Sin Cara, Cinta de Oro, has told promoters that he does not have a 90-day non-compete. He's been telling promoters that he does not have a 90-day non-compete. The report adds that after appearing for AAA this past weekend, he is close to signing with the promotion. There you go. Why WWE gives a shit, I don't know. Why he would go out and use the name, use the mask, and tell people that there's no 90-day non-compete. Maybe he wanted to do that as a way to kind of show AAA that he wants to work with them and show them what he's got and maybe get himself a contract. All that risk for a AAA contract. Now he might be getting sued by the WWE. I don't have any news on that, but the guy certainly seems like a fucking idiot for, going against the rules. WWE looks even worse for not letting this guy go. Like, why not release him from the 90-day clause? Like, I understand Luke Harper, fine. I understand the Ascension, fine. But, Luke Harper is the only exception there. Why keep these guys tied to a 90-day clause? Why give yourself the headache? The only reason why they do it is because they want to be dicks. WWE are run by a bunch of petty dicks who take great pleasure in seeing everyone suffer. It's like Satan. It's like fucking hell on earth, WWE. And Vince McMahon is the fucking devil himself, literally. Guys, I'm getting out of here. That is all I got this weekend. If you enjoyed the podcast, let me know what you think down below. Leave me a comment. If you made it to the end of the video, use hashtag KillerCross. Use hashtag KillerCross, because that was the big story today right here on the podcast. Let me know what you guys think of all that and everything else on the show today. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206. That's on Twitter and Instagram. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell for all notifications. Check out yesterday's part 1. Make sure you guys are going to check that out along with everything else on the channel. Monday Night Raw, AEW Off the Script Elite, AEW Dynamite, NXT, Luigi's Mansion, Friday Night SmackDown, Off the Script from yesterday. Ton of content for you guys to catch up on all weekend. Patreon.com/JD from NY206. Make sure you guys go and check all that out on Patreon as well. Thank you to all my patrons on Patreon. And if you guys want to go check out, which I hope you do, harrys.com/script for your holiday gift set, and ridge.com/script, 10% off each and every one of your purchases using code SCRIPT at checkout. Guys, I will see you right back here on Monday for Raw, and I'll see you right back here for Off the Script 306 as we wind down the end of the year. I'm not doing my top 10 matches this year. I just don't really give a shit. I'll go over some of my highlights of the year. We'll talk about it. I don't know what we're doing on Wednesday. There's no content going up on Wednesday because NXT and AEW are taking the night off. I might do a Q&A. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Let me know what you guys want to see, and I'll see you guys right back here next week with more content on the channel. This is the #1 podcast right here on YouTube and all of the YouTube wrestling community. This is Off the Script. Have a great weekend, guys, and I'll see you right back here for Monday Night Raw. Unfortunately, Monday Night Raw. Shit. The drizzling shits is Raw.